Imagine you're a kid and you've been super excited for the new Monster High doll. You've been saving up your money and you have a crisp $20 bill. And you rush with your mom to the nearest Target, but when you get there, the doll's all sold out. And so you cry and cry and cry. And when your mom goes home, she looks it up online to see if it's there. And you find the very doll you wanted getting sold at 3 times the price. Honey, you're a victim of price scalping. Price scalping refers to the practice of buying a product, usually in bulk, for its in-store price and then reselling the item for exponentially more than it was originally worth. Now, not everything online that is sold for ridiculous prices is scalped. Like, it would be easy to say that this Laguna doll is scalped, but it's a 2009 item, so it could very well be a collector's item. However, if in 2009 someone purchased like 100 bajillion of these Laguna dolls to sell them years later at exponential prices, then maybe it's scalping. I don't know. There is a lot of gray area. I personally think that any instance of someone buying up a heck ton of products to resell them at exuberant rates is price scalping. And obviously, like everything online, there has been a lot of discourse about the true definition of price scalping. But no matter what definition of price scalping we use, I think we have to acknowledge that price scalping revolves around the supply and demand theory, which basically states if there is a low supply but high demand, the price can be set higher and the consumer will still buy it. So, for example, Target recently sold these Animal Crossing Amiibo cards, which would bring Hello Kitty themed items into the game. And I don't know, Animal Crossing and New Horizons has been like one of the most popular games, and bringing Animal Crossing, and bringing Hello Kitty items to it would be pretty popular. And so with Target selling these cards for $5.99, it became a perfect opportunity for scalpers because they knew a lot of people would want them. And if they created a low supply by buying it all up and the demand was already high, then they could start charging more. When scalpers got their hands on them, they started selling on eBay for upwards of $200. These Amiibo cards sold out of stores within minutes, so scalpers became one of the only places people could get this hot ticket item. I think a few interesting things are that sometimes by buying the product in bulk, scalpers are the ones that create the low supply of a product. And sometimes the demand is just not there, or the supply was bigger than the demand, or people just listened to the age-old advice. Don't buy from scalpers, love. XOXO, Gossip Girl. But whatever the reason, sometimes scalpers are forced to sell their products at a loss, and we love to see it. In many cases, companies that are selling hot ticket items try to put measures against scalping, but that almost never works. In my opinion, one of the most interesting things about price scalping is that even in an age before eBay and Facebook Marketplace and other online shops utilized by scalpers, there was scalping. Because way before the internet existed, scalping did. So in today's video, we are going to look at how scalping worked before the internet, how it evolved with the internet, and we are going to look at a few things that have got scalped, from cards to consoles. And then finally, we are going to look at how scalping impacted industries like the theater industry, and how companies are implementing efforts against scalping. So price scalping existed way before the internet, because let's be honest, even before the internet was mostly accessible to everyone and their dog, everyone and their dog still wanted to make a quick buck, and they couldn't just type into YouTube, get rich quick schemes, and listen to business scammers, gurus, talk about how to create a scammy dropshipping website. No shade. So they turned to another easy way to make money. Scalping. Some of the earliest records of price scalping are from the 1850s, although scalping probably existed before that. But a notable instance of price scalping was in the 1960s, when Charles Dickens did his second book tour. Tickets started at $3, and price scalpers bought them up and sold them for $50. Is it bad that until just now I didn't realize that Charles Dickens was a real person? I guess that's what you get with an online education. I'm not stupid, I swear. So, also, people used to scalp railroad tickets. I guess trains used to be the only form of transportation, and so people would buy up train tickets and resell them to people. And I think that's a little risky, because what happens if you buy like 10 jillion train tickets and no one decides to ride the train? And that's the thing about price scalping. It relies heavily on speculation. Do the scalpers believe they can turn a profit? And obviously, sometimes they're wrong and have to resell at the loss. There have been some legal actions taken against scalpers, and a lot of them have to do with baseball. And I think if you've ever been to a baseball game, you've probably seen a scalper. Have you ever been to a baseball game and seen the people outside trying to sell last-minute baseball tickets? Those are usually scalpers trying to get at least a little bit of a profit, or even reselling for a loss, so they're just not stuck with baseball tickets. While I was researching legal cases against scalpers, my brain felt like it was going to explode. And my mom wants me to be a lawyer. Sorry, Mom. But one case stuck out to me. In 2009, a 40-year-old man had gotten in trouble for reselling over 100 Mariners tickets. The Mariners are a baseball team in Washington. However, reselling is legal in Washington. And to try to get this man charged, they sued him on vendor-related charges, selling without a license or whatever. He was scalping, but there were no laws against it where he lived. But the company he was scalping from still wanted the money, so they were like, what other laws is he breaking? And that's a lot of times what companies who try to get money back from scalpers have to do, because the scalping laws are very confusing and worded in a way that, like, even if scalping's illegal, is only a very specific type of scalping, so you can still scalp another thing. Also, in like the olden days, scalping used to kind of just be a job, and why I'm sure some people today make their living off of scalping. It used to be a job. You go into the office and your boss would be like, Bobby, today we're buying up all the baseball tickets in Manhattan. And you'd be like, okay. And then people were like, oh, shoot my goot. Is this legal? And some states made specific laws to stop scalping, and some states didn't even bother. So today, there are some laws against scalping. However, they are very hard to enforce, and most places don't. And a lot of places don't even have laws. Or the laws they have only cover one aspect of scalping, like tickets. So it's hard for the companies to persecute scalpers. But companies still want the money that they could have made. And unlike the Mariners, most scalpers don't sue for their money back. Sometimes if the item is regularly scalped and sold for a much higher price, the company selling the product will take notice and start selling the product for much more as well. A real-world example of this are tickets for the musical Hamilton. Now, I was a musical theater obsessed teen during the height of Hamilton's popularity. It was a time. But Hamilton was coming to the big fancy theater in my state where I went to see Wicked for my 15th birthday. And my mom was like, oh my gosh, it would be so fun if we could go see Hamilton. Obviously, we didn't go. A few of my friends did. And I was insanely jealous of them. And a few people even bought season passes to the theater just for the chance to get Hamilton tickets. Which, by the way, sold out almost immediately. I remember my mom scrolling on Facebook Marketplace for tickets, and the cheapest one was like $2,600. So yeah, we decided not to watch Hamilton, although I'm pretty sure our wallets made that decision for us. And we eventually watched it when Hamilton was added to Disney+, and my mom fell asleep during it. So I guess it's a good thing that we didn't blow our life savings to go see a rock opera. But that whole tangent aside, Hamilton tickets were hella expensive, and they always were getting sold out. And the Broadway gods, or whoever is in charge, was like, wait, besties, we could be selling these tickets for more. And people would still buy them. And then Broadway tickets and tickets for plays and musicals became more expensive. Yay! Another big thing that happened in the Hamilton era of scalping, or whatever, was scalping bots. And of course they had existed before then. But like, they were big on scalping tickets for Hamilton. So, what exactly is a scalping bot? It's a bot that'll scalp. Yes. But I'm gonna dive tad deeper. Impervia, an IT security company, states that these scalper bots work in 3 stages. The first stage is website monitoring and account creation. So scalpers will monitor the company's website or social media to see if there are any upcoming launches that will be popular or at least easy enough to resell for a profit. Once the scalper has identified their target, they send out the bots. Bots are either bought or created by the scalper. In the second stage, the product launches and the bots automatically add it to their carts. And boom. Third stage, they check out, they buy the product, and the product is scalped. A lot of hot ticket items, like the ColourPop Animal Crossing collection, will put a checkout limit on their items to avoid scalping. For example, in the ColourPop launch, it was 2 items per customer. However, these bots help scalpers get around that because you can have a lot of bots and each one can get 2 or whatever the limit is. 2020 was a year. And with stay-at-home orders, people all wanted something to do, which led gaming consoles to being scalped at exponential rates, starting with the Nintendo Switch. A big part of this was Animal Crossing being the game of the pandemic, and scalpers saw a quick buck to be made. They bulk bought Switches and sold them at exuberant prices, causing a shortage of Switches. Of all the things a global pandemic could cause a shortage of, who thought it would have been Nintendo Switches and toilet paper? This is also where I'd like to mention that if something says it is limited edition and it sells out due to scalping or popularity, don't worry and do not buy from scalpers. If something sells out, it will usually be restocked. This is my limited edition Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch. I just bought it last month during its 4th restock. This thing was only supposed to be restocked once, but it's so popular that I didn't even have to resort to scalpers. I could buy it myself from my local GameStop. Also, if you want to see me play Animal Crossing, I've started a whole new island on Twitch. It's very fun. Okay, now that shameless self-promotion is over, I would like to say that the Switch was not the only console that was scalped at an insanely high rate, and it is not even the most notable. The most notable is obviously the PS5, which was scalped at such a high rate it became virtually impossible to find one, with an estimated over 1,380 PS5s being scalped by one person at the height of scalping. And while the common man has tried to stop the scalping of PS5s by placing fake bids and by signing a petition, companies have also been trying to put an end to scalping. So let's talk about the Target Amiibo cards again. An attempt was made. It didn't go very well, but so Target tried to do a thing to prevent scalpers. They made the product, the Animal Crossing Sanrio cards, only available for curbside pickup, and to avoid mass orders online and bots. The cards still got scalped because the person with the bots could sit in their car, equip their bots, and curbside pickup anyway. So while it was really creative to avoid scalping, the scalpers are always going to be a little more creative, so it didn't work. And due to recent developments with Pokemon cards, I want to talk about the scalping of children toys. But Maddie, Pokemon cards aren't children toys. Pokemon cards are for Jarvis Johnson and Logan Paul. Right. And I hear you, but I'm going to characterize them as children toys anyway, because this is my video, and I make the rules. So basically, toy scalpers go out and buy toys and shit that they think is going to be rare or expensive. Littlest Pet Shop and Monster High dolls were very regularly scalped. And with the rise in mystery toys like the Poopsie Surprise unicorns and LOL Surprise dolls, those get scalped a lot too. And I do think there is a benefit to buying a scalped version of a mystery toy, because then you know what you're getting. Anyways, trading cards like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and the ones for all the people who like sports ball all kind of fall into the mystery toy category. And if a holo Charizard is worth more than $100,000, honey, maybe I should have been scalping. The only holo I have is the Bulbasaur from McDonald's. Speaking of McDonald's, Pokemon cards, those things got scalped by the hundreds. People would walk into Mickey D's, buy like 20 Happy Meals, and essentially scalp the cards. RIP to the workers there, who were definitely not paid enough to deal with that bullshit. Also, some McDonald's employees stole whole boxes of Pokemon cards and sold them online for thousands of dollars, which you would be allowed to be mad at if McDonald's had a living wage and didn't have to resort to selling stolen Pokemon cards to make money. Anyways, this scalping of McDonald's Pokemon cards kind of sucked because a lot of kids who wanted to get Pokemon cards in their Happy Meals couldn't. And I think that is the real issue with scalping toys. I mean, getting a few $100 would be nice, but think of the children. XOXO Gossip Girl. Anyways, Pokemon cards are often scalped, leading to crying children, angry parents, and after a few fights on this episode of Scalpers Ruin Everything, stores like Target and Walmart and others have decided to stop selling trading cards like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and sports balls. Oops, RIP. There are some other notable scalping things that have happened recently that I want to talk about, but not in depth, like the Stardew Valley board game, or at the beginning of the pandemic when hand sanitizers were being scalped for thousands of dollars, or the fact that eBay has measures against scalping, but they allowed this. But my account got suspended when I was trying to sell my Marshall Amiibo for $40 so I could buy the new Sims pack. Yes, I am mad about it, and yes, I probably deserved it. Anyways, if you made it this far in the video, what are you doing? Subscribe. Maybe drop a like, and comment the craziest thing you've ever seen scalped. If you want to follow me outside of YouTube, I'm casually_Maddie on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. I've been streaming the progress of my new Animal Crossing island. It's been really fun. Alright, I'm gonna go watch some Monster High reruns now. Goodbye. And hey bestie, don't scalp.